Hello and welcome to The Big Show. This is Dim Lights and Stiff Drinks, the dive bars of Seattle. We are a podcast that visits local dive bars, historic taverns, and old drinking establishments. We are setting out to document those bars that have a seedy backstory and interesting history behind them. But best of all, we are recording these episodes live at the bar itself. And I think you guys can hear...
I think they can hear that
I think you
tonight.
can hear it in the background. As we're recording this, it's loud as hell. We're not sure if we're even going to be able to release this as an episode, but hopefully it comes through. Yeah, if anyone was ever doubting us as far as if we're recording live, I think you can hear the proof right now.
We're not in Brad's garage right now.
Nope, we are not in Brad's garage. For this episode, we are at Slim's Last Chance Saloon and Chili Shack. This place is widely known for its delicious chili, which I am definitely looking forward to trying after recording. Joining me, as always, is our producer extraordinaire, Bob Trombley.
Hey, now.
As well as my two co-hosts, Lou and Jeremy. How are you guys doing tonight?
All right.
I'm doing good.
Sweet motherfucking Lou.
Yeah?
Stash Panda on my right, Brad. And I'm going with Jay Dreamy.
Jay
Wow.
Dreamy, okay.
I just came up with that. I'm gonna try it on and wear it around
That
a little
sounds
bit,
like
see
your
how it fits.
Professional wrestler
Jay
moniker.
Dreamy.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it. And Brad, let's say hi to the house band, Satan's Pilgrims. You heard pluck a couple bass notes in the background. They were playing that music you heard coming in.
That's what welcomed us in, yep, as always. Okay, guys, now as far as the history of this place, I'm going to say it right off the bat. There really isn't that much of that here. It opened in 2008, and it's been visited by a lot of celebrities. That's pretty much the extent of this place, which doesn't mean make it any less cool, but it's a little different than our usual destinations, right? But I purposely picked this place for this very reason, so let me explain. Mm-hmm. We are wrapping up Season 1. This is the finale for Season 1. We're going to be doing Season 2.
Which I cannot believe.
It's
right?
crazy.
It is flown by.
12 episodes.
That's kind of what I
freaking
thought.
episodes.
I was thinking about that the other
Unbelievable.
day.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that today. I was like, 12 episodes? How is that even possible? So during these 12 episodes, we have encountered all varieties of bars and taverns, which has prompted many discussions between us. What constitutes a dive bar? How old does a dive bar need to be before it can truly be considered a dive bar? Is there a difference between a neighborhood bar and a dive bar? And the list goes on. So, I thought we could use this episode not only to visit an interesting drinking establishment, as we like to call them, but also revisit some of these discussions we've had. And since we're wrapping up Season 1, I thought we could look back on some of the previous bars we visited, talk about how these places have shaped our show, kind of a stroll down memory lane.
Oh
if you
my
will.
God, we could do a montage.
Montage.
Good show. We don't have to do shit. Let's cut the mics now.
Yeah, we're done.
We'll just drink and eat
Yeah, just
chili.
clips from each of the other
And
episodes.
then,
Yeah.
Bob can put
And we
together the best of.
And we should
season
mention, so there's a house band that's setting up. Every night at this place at 6 p.m., a house band comes out and puts on a whole set. They're supposed to come on in about like a half hour, but you know these things go, so we might be cut off a little abruptly here.
Yeah, we got a hard cutoff tonight. They're supposed
There's
to be
also
here
like
at
some
6.
fucking bachelorette
And
party or some
this
shit going
is
on next door to us here.
If y'all are ever wanting to come down to Slim's, Thursday night the music is free, and it's the house band, which is the Billy Joe show.
No
Yeah.
cover.
Now, they're supposed to put on a pretty good show, and, you know, after we record, we're all going to grab some chili and, you know, hopefully watch some good music, so.
Nice.
So with that said, this is episode number 12, and this place kind of brings into the quintessential question we've been asking ourselves since we started out on this journey, which is, what makes a dive bar, and how old does a dive bar need to be before it can be considered a dive bar? So for you guys, I present the question, is this a dive bar? It was built in 2008, which is what,
For sure.
Yeah.
14 years old?
Yeah.
Going
I
on
say
15.
It has all the looks.
First of
and
all,
vibe.
It has
for
all the
sure.
looks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely dive bar.
You
But
would-
it's a great point though. Like,
You would call it a dive bar?
is there criteria that you can say, oh well, no, this isn't a dive bar because it doesn't have X, Y, and Z and stuff? And those are legit questions, right? But you look around and it's got the feels for
It does.
sure.
It
It's got the
does.
dive bar feels for
Yeah.
sure. So first and foremost, you walk in and say, yep, this is a dive bar.
Yeah.
Right. So even if it just like opened up yesterday, and even if all they serve is champagne and caviar, you still got the feels, man.
Well, it's in an old building. I don't know how old the building is, but we've got a garage
fucking
door right
old.
here. Yeah, I mean, it's in Georgetown.
Industrial
We're
neighborhood.
in Georgetown. It's an industrial
Working
neighborhood. I believe
man's.
this place used to be a garage. that they converted into a bar. It has all the bones of an old building in a garage. The interior is just cool as hell.
It has all the trappings
You
of
know,
a dive bar.
that's a great point, too. Like, we talked about age, and so far, every bar we've been to has been like 30s or so when
Yeah,
they opened, right?
easily.
Kind of a theme going on. We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
2008, this is a baby bar, right?
This is a baby bar.
But you walk in, it feels much older.
It
right?
does.
You look
It does.
around,
The
you're like,
vibe.
this place
Yeah.
has been around for decades.
Here's an important thing that they're doing. What's the year? 2008.
8 when it opened, yeah.
Do the math. What's 22
14 years.
minus 8?
Carry the one.
14.
That was the last time they did a deep cleaning in this place. I mean, look at that. There's fingerprints, there's smudges, there's black shit. It's not.
Yep. It's been aged.
Even the tables
Patina.
are already scratched to hell. The finish is coming off.
I'm sure any health inspectors
They
listening to you,
probably-
Lou, they're probably on their way right now.
They might have
probably
bought
just
these used.
dove in their
fact.
vehicle.
14 years is all it takes for a good dive bar patina,
Yeah.
right?
All right.
I don't
And
know.
there's like, look at the wall behind you. There's a million stickers that look
Yeah.
like they've been there forever. It's dark. There's pool tables.
There's definitely like an atmosphere going on that it's not a simplicity, because there's simplicity going on, bare beams being exposed in the ceiling and all this stuff, right? So should we say happy birthday? Do we have to pause and sing happy birthday?
I think we got to buy
This
someone a
is
shot
like
of tequila.
a stand-up comedian when the bachelorette party shows up.
So you guys would all agree that this is a dive bar in your opinions?
Yes,
Yeah,
most
sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
Because Lou, I remember you said before, like a bar has to be at least 50 years old.
Yep,
remember.
I believe that coming out
So
of
are
your
you eating
mouth.
those words now?
Yeah, no, I take it all back. This place is bullshit.
Exceptions to the rule.
Fucking yuppie bar. Can I have the avocado toast?
No, this is a very cool place, and the decor is really cool too. I mean, the decor matches an old dive bar, because we've all been in
Looks
retro
exactly
dive
like
bars
the
that.
Blue Moon or Hattie's
Yeah.
Or even
It does have a
Daryl's
very
kind of
Blue
reminds
Moon
me of that
atmosphere.
with the
Big
square.
pile
Yeah.
of bottles behind the bartender.
Yeah.
8 taps. Well, we'll get into that later.
But yeah, it has some
Literally.
grit under its fingernails. I would call it a dive bar too, for sure.
Actually, the most important part of the story is what's going on behind us, which is a party of 16.
And that's what you
16, 20.
can find on any
Yeah,
given
like
night
20
here.
people. Easy.
This is somebody's retirement party. This is somebody's
Bar mitzvah.
bachelorette party.
But this
There's
is
a
what
party
you
going on
hear
behind us.
in the places that we inhabit.
It's a real bar.
We've never encountered this before, but we were bound to at some point, and
The key person that said that this was for is saying goodbye. It's that woman right there.
Oh.
Get her on mic.
No, let's,
Oh my God. Really?
We don't want to interrupt
Want to
her.
ask him to come?
we don't want to interrupt her
I don't
flow.
want to be rude, but yeah, now that she's gone, things have mellowed out. So
it has gotten a lot quieter. Yeah.
All right. Well, should we kick
So-
into another segment?
podcasting to do now.
We got some
a brief
podcasting to
window
do.
between
All right,
now
back to work, people.
and when
Come
the
on.
band comes up. So
Yeah, back to
let's
work,
get to
people.
work.
Yeah.
Clocks are ticking.
Any segments?
We got some
Right,
drinking
right.
to do.
What
Where are we
celebrities
at?
have been here? You said
Yeah.
there's some celebrities that visited this joint.
Well, who's the guy that the Food Network guy?
Triple
that
D.
does-
Guy Fieri.
What? Yeah, Guy Fieri. Thank you.
Diners, drives, and
He's
That
been here.
guy's been
What is it?
everywhere.
Billy Gibbons from
Diners,
ZZ Top has been
bars.
here.
Oh,
His
nice.
Triple D.
Nice.
Who else? I
There's
think
been one
Colin
here.
Farrell, the actor. I think I saw a picture of him here before. Another question for you guys. So, looking back on season 1 so far, what have been some of your takeaways about maybe unexpected realizations, things like that? I'll start to kind of set the tone, okay?
Yeah.
So when we first set out for this, I kind of had in my mind that we were just going to be visiting a series of very homogenous looking bars. You know, the stereotypical dive bar where you go in and there's a bunch of barflies and pull tabs and dim lights and sip drinks, right? But as I discovered, each one is distinctly different. No 2 dive bars are the same, and they all have their own personality and stuff. There is no homogenous dive bar, at least not in Seattle that we've encountered. So I was kind of surprised to, discover
no,
that.
I totally
you-
agree.
Yeah, you straight up. That's straight up. I think that's a great observation, right? And I remember us kind of plotting and scheming this podcast way back in the day. One of the things I thought is like, no dive bar's going to want us to come and record. They're going to say, fuck you, get out of our bar, right? You know, and I was But we have been embraced with open
Positive
arms
reception.
so
Absolutely.
much from
Yeah.
the owners and the managers
Yeah.
and bartenders
And
and
the
stuff. It's
company.
been fucking great.
Yeah.
So shout
Yep.
out to all the bars who have like welcomed us in their doors.
Yeah.
So we couldn't have done it without them. I thought for sure it'd be a struggle. I thought we'd have to like beg and plead and slip somebody $50 under the table to get our asses in the
Yeah.
bars to start recording. But it's been surprisingly easy, and everybody's just been super warm and welcoming. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Yep, that's been true. What about you, Lou?
Well, actually, I should pull it up. What I've learned is that the longer these places, oh, here we go. The band's
Ended
getting
off with
hot,
a bang here.
is that and this is props to you, Brad, the history of all these bars we've been to, like this one's 2008, 14 years, big fucking deal. Everything else, when it's 70 years,
Oh, yeah.
you start to get into the Gustavs and Hellflowers, and the Doc Snells.
The Doc Snells, yep.
Neils,
Yep.
Cecil Payne,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Fast Eddie, Colin Harrison, Ole Olsen.
Yep.
What was that again, Brad?
Ole Olsen was, that was the sloop, right?
I believe it was the sloop.
All right,
be
Fast
wrong.
Eddie. Who was that, Jeremy?
Oh shit, the zoo. No.
That was the Blue Moon, I think.
Blue Moon.
I was going to
Yeah.
agree with you there.
Doc Snell.
That was the Blue Moon.
That
He was one of those
Blue Moon, too.
bouncers.
What was Hellflower?
I don't know that one.
Was that the Blue Moon as well?
That might have been, it seems like an Aurora bar.
No, that was the Blue Moon. That was one of the original
Oh,
owners.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, what about Charlie Files and Patrick Files?
Oh, that was the sloop. Yep. Yeah. And he also owned Targies.
And
Little
Targies.
bar
right.
trivia there for you listeners
Yeah,
out there.
the Files family made an
Yeah.
appearance in 2 bars.
We
Yeah,
had-
that's
we had
right.
some good like bouncer names from Woody's too.
It seems like we
Right.
did.
Woody's is, of course, our favorite and our sponsor of the show, Theodore Butsky,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. The singing bartender.
the singing bartender.
Yeah, that's right.
And Helmer Tressel. Who's that motherfucker?
God, I know the name, but I don't remember which
Targies.
place.
All right.
Targies.
So, yeah, like all these places have had a really pretty rich history.
Yeah.
So for this episode, we're clearly going to have to post like an answer sheet for your pop quiz there, Lou.
There you go.
A lot of good names. I was also surprised at
Yeah.
how
We should
old
do
a lot of
trivia.
these.
Kids are going to be downloading it centuries
should,
from now.
Give them a prize, like a bottle of booze for whoever answers them all correctly.
And I've been kind of interested in, or surprised to find how old a lot of these places have been running since like right after Prohibition.
Yeah.
More than one bar.
Most of them started in the 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not realize
It's been
that.
really
That's crazy.
fun to see the
majority of
history,
them.
the rich history of these places. And spoiler alert, we've got even older places on
Oh,
the books
yeah.
here that we're going to be visiting here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Maybe season 2,
Yeah.
maybe.
Set them up, Brad. Let's give a little.
So,
sneak
yeah,
preview.
we decided
Roll the
to,
trailer for season 2.
Yeah, we decided to divide to go and do it in seasons, right? So 12 episodes per season. For season 2, we're going to pay a visit to Pioneer Square, where 4 different bars lay claim to being the oldest bar in Seattle, and we're going to get into this. We're going to take a deep dive and find out who exactly is the oldest bar in Seattle. We're going to get to the bottom of this.
There we
And
go.
there was, let's name them. There's the Central, the J&M,
The Merchant
Merchant.
and Jules Maze. Yeah, those are the 4.
I'm going to make a prediction.
So
I'm going to make a
all 4 of
prediction
those-
right now.
Okay,
Right now.
okay.
All 4 of them are, in fact, the oldest bar in Seattle, depending on how you look at it.
I like the way you had
It's
your
all
bet
based on
there.
perspective.
Right. I think that's what we're gonna find. Like,
Okay.
oh well, this one, like the first brick was laid on blah blah
Well,
blah,
technically-
and the doors open blah blah blah,
Right.
and I got my liquor license on blah blah blah. Right. They're all 4 gonna have some
Yeah,
sort of
what
claim.
I think's going to happen is that Brad actually already knows the answer to the question because he's actually
He's just
vetted
fuck-
them all and researched it.
Yeah, he's just fucking with
he'll
us.
tell you
Yeah.
at the end who is actually the oldest
Well,
bar in Seattle.
After 27 episodes, he'll reveal the winner.
No, these will be the first 4 episodes of season 2, and then we got some other cool locations lined up too. We might even be doing a little traveling on the outskirts of Seattle. You know, Everett,
and a couple of
Marysville.
maybe some revisits.
maybe some revisits
Yeah.
possibly.
You want to go to the herb farm?
The Herb Farm.
Yeah, maybe
Well,
couples dinner, the 2 of us,
Sure.
4
Yeah.
of us at 2 different tables.
You know, that brings up the whole idea, though. We could expand dive restaurants.
Possibly.
dive hotels / motels,
The possibilities are limitless.
dive hookah bars, right? I mean,
The list goes on.
Yeah.
The list goes on. Well, one of the things I also want us to look into is the Derelict League.
Yes.
This old baseball
yeah.
league that existed in Seattle. I think it started maybe in the late 60s, went on through the 80s. And it was like basically the Bad News Bears of adult baseball. It was all these different taverns that played in the league.
adult drunken
Yep.
baseball.
Yeah.
The
I
owners
guess-
and their kids and a couple regulars, and you got a
Well, and the commissioner
Softball team.
of the Derelict League has actually reached out to me, and we're going to try to get him on. And I also want to revisit the zoo, because apparently they have a whole chest of old paraphernalia from the Derelict League. So we're going to be diving into that, too. So we got some really cool things lined up for Season 2, so stay tuned for that.
Here's a 1937 jockstrap.
Anyway, I actually have some really cool stuff to tell you about where we're at.
Okay?
Oh,
Georgetown it's not any bullshit. It's actually the center of the universe. It's actually the center of the universe. Georgetown.
hell
As
yeah.
far as
Hell
Seattle
yeah.
dive bars. So let's go get round 2 and come back, and I'll tell you where we're at.
Okay, sounds good. All right, we are back for round 2. Everyone freshened up their drinks. The band is about to start. And a little observation here, we're at Slim's. And Lou, do you happen to know what today is? We picked a good day to be here today. Any ideas?
Is it the 24th?
It is National...
Hint, it's not your birthday.
not your birthday. It is National...
Shit, did I forget Valentine's Day? We gotta.
No,
screwed.
it's not. National.
It's not your anniversary. It's National Chili Day.
It's National Chili Day.
National
What's
Chili
the
Day.
name of this place? It's actually
Slim's, Last Chance Saloon, and Chili Shack.
Yeah.
They're known for their chili, so we
Hell
came
yeah.
to the right place today, which was just kind of a
It's
lucky
fucking
coincidence.
National Chili Day. And
It really
we're
is,
here.
yeah.
So supposedly they claim they are the best chili in town, but we're also going to do an episode at Mike's Chili Parlor.
Yeah, which
in
I've eaten that
Valley,
before.
Who is celebrating their 100th year this year?
Chili
That's
battle.
right.
Chili
That's
battle.
right.
A little bit
Yeah.
of a chili off.
Yeah, so stay tuned for Season 2 for that.
That's pretty cool. So what are you drinking, Brad?
So I'm drinking the Rogers Ale from Georgetown Brewing. It's pretty good. I was just kind of a random pick. I just hadn't drank any Rogers before, didn't recognize it, so I said, give me that. And it's kind of it's like a pale ale. It's good.
Nice. How about you, Jay?
Well, I am sticking with the Georgetown theme, and I think we're going to explore that a little bit
We're a
deeper,
couple
right?
blocks from Georgetown
No
Brewery.
shit. Exactly. This is Georgetown Brewery's hood right here, which is an excellent brewery. It's a great neighborhood. You're going to tell us a little bit more about like where we're at, but no big surprise, heavy Georgetown Brewery rotation on tap here at Slim's, right? So
Yeah.
you had the Rogers Pale. I've got the Chopper Red Ale,
that was
which
my
is
first beer,
excellent.
which is great, yeah.
And we've got some other stuff on tap. We've got some
had a Bodhi.
Bodhisattva, right? Bodhisattva, which you had before, right? I think there's like one or two other Georgetown brewers on tap, which is a little unusual. It's heavy Georgetown, but not surprising given the fact that we're like 2 blocks from Georgetown Brewery or whatever. So
Yeah, right.
very, very cool. One of a great breweries. So yeah, good stuff.
Nice.
One, there's a beer on tap that I don't think we've encountered before, which is the Shinerbach from Texas.
Yeah,
Oh, they got Shiner on tap. That's
Shinerbach.
right.
Anybody from Texas knows Shinerbach. Anybody
Yeah.
from that region knows Shinerbach. You
Yep.
go to a Texas bar or that region, you're going to find Shinerbach. But this is, as far as I know, this is the first bar we've been to that had Shinerbach on tap.
believe so,
You don't
yeah.
see it super popular on
No.
tap around the Seattle
We should
area.
have had one. We have a ton of family in Texas, and they've all got Shiner in the fridge.
Yeah, you should
yeah.
have, Lou. Why don't you go get one right now?
I'm drinking Jamie on the rocks. I got me on the Henny.
With the Shiner
Bob on
back.
the Jamie.
Shinerbach back.
Shinerbach back.
There you go. Yep. But Brad, you were mentioning this before. We got some Georgetown brews on tap. That's great. Love that brewery. Love those beers. but the selection is relatively,
It's a scarce commodity up in these parts. You don't see it too often.
Yeah,
Smaller
this is the one
selection.
bar
Even in the
we've been
stores,
to
I don't think you
yeah, a
see it
little,
too
little more
often.
mild
that doesn't
selection.
take beers serious.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're Georgetown's bars, so they got a bunch of Georgetown, and everything else is Blue Moon and
We got some staples.
Pabst Blue
got
Ribbon.
Some staples. We got some
But
Modelo
I mean,
on tap, which
Shiner's
is a
is-
little and then the
Shiner's
China
is a
box.
logical choice for a
That is
place
a
that
dive
is
bar
known for its
tap.
chili, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. It's
Shiner's
yeah.
Bach
They,
and chili.
They did their homework. They did their homework.
Tex-Mex, yeah.
Is it a Modelo Especial or Negro
Yeah,
Modelo?
Modelo on tap. You don't see that very often.
Which
Kinda
Modelo?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little unusual.
Negro Modelo or Modelo Especial?
Modelo Especial.
No, you don't see that on tap too often.
what's that in English?
Especial. It's actually French.
So we are minutes away until the band starts. So Lou, before they begin, why don't you tell us where the hell are we at?
Yes.
You're in industrial land. Georgetown is the
There's
second.
a welding supply store right next door.
Yeah, once you get south of downtown, there's the industrial neighborhood,
Yeah.
and then there's Georgetown. It's all the same. What's cool is
lot
I
of,
come
like,
down
warehouses
I'm on
and
the west
shit.
side of Seattle, so I take Aurora down here, and you come out of the tunnel, and the first thing you see are like 20 cranes and shipping containers,
Right.
5 high on each side of the road.
I took that same route coming in,
The
yep.
rail spurs going down the middle.
Yep.
and They've got boxcars stacked high on that side too. But yeah, we're in a district where men work and things are made and things are done that aren't just a bunch of computer jockeys. And then there's cranes and grain and sand being dumped from things or smoke in the air.
We can almost see the original Starbucks headquarters down the street.
Yep.
But yeah, it
What's
was
up,
dominated
Howard?
by, it was first one of the first main rail spurs came through, and it's still there. And then the Duwamish cut comes in, and that's where all the ships come in to drop
Yeah.
off the cargo containers. But we're actually at ground zero. This is the first Seattle neighborhood.
Well, in Georgetown as a neighborhood, when I first moved here, it really wasn't anything. It's kind of like grown into like a really cool neighborhood.
Yeah,
Maybe in
for
the last, 15 years or so, I would say.
It has its
Yeah,
own
a
vibe.
little bit. It's what I just described. It's industrial.
Yeah,
It's
And there's a
still got
pizza joint and a good
But
bar.
that's a
Still a
good thing,
brewery
right?
neighborhood.
Because like Brad's right, like it has evolved, but it is not like gentrified, right?
Right,
It's like a
no.
lot of neighborhoods in the Seattle area have evolved from like industrial, hardcore, like kind of business way, and then they got like basically gentrified over the years, and they're kind of cool neighborhoods now. And shit. The Georgetown area still stays seedy. Still remains kind of that industrial, like hard, working man kind of vibe, right? But it's got some great breweries. You've got some great
Yep.
restaurants. You've got
Yep.
some great dive bars in the area and
Yep.
stuff. All that shit is kind of moved in, made it a good neighborhood.
Yeah.
We are, there's some industrial shit, right? There's like, warehouses and this bar and stuff. Just across the street is going to be like some houses and tucked in little neighborhoods and stuff. So it's got a good mix going.
Yeah, and you're actually in the first neighborhood. I was telling Brad earlier, the Collins Party landed here September 27, 1851, which was 2 days after the Denny Party landed in Alki. But the Collins Party, within a year, had permanent structures and a farming community, whereas the Denny Party was basically
So,
fucking camping.
Which
And
one
it
of
was
those
in-
parties established the first bar?
I'm sure it was Georgetown, and I could tell you why later, but like the Denny Party in 1852 moved to downtown, and then they set up shop. And so Denny Party gets all the credit for being the first Seattle, but this is actually the first neighborhood.
You think Doc
It's right
Maynard ever
here.
came down here and was drinking down here?
Yeah,
Well-
I'm sure Doc Maynard. So, yeah, this was really cool. In the late 1800s, Georgetown was the 6th largest beer-producing district in the world.
Get the fuck
With
out
the
of here.
Rainier Brewery.
Yeah.
Get the fuck
Well,
out
it was
of here.
also like a company town. It has a really crazy history. So during the years that you're talking about, Lou, it was a company town. It was its own little city, Georgetown. It wasn't annexed by Seattle yet. And the guy that was running the brewery was also the mayor of the town,
Of Georgetown.
Georgetown. Yeah, so it was like
We
a
said it
true
before,
company
we'll
town.
say it again.
That's
Seattle's a beer
hilarious.
town.
You know
It's
what
a
else
beer
I
town.
found is that like Georgetown became they were a beer community because there was a ton of German immigrants and you could grow hops in the
Yep.
flood areas off the Duwamish. And so in 1904, they became their own town because they were worried Seattle was going to annex them, and there was talk that Seattle was going to pass local prohibition.
That's right.
And this was like
Oh, hell no.
beer country,
Yeah.
And then Seattle dropped it.
Yeah.
And then like 3 or 4 years later, they were like, okay, we can join forces now that you don't have a problem with beer. But then in 1914, we did state prohibition.
1916 when they went,
Yeah,
and of course,
we were ahead of
Georgetown
the
was
curve.
strongly opposed to that for obvious reasons. But yeah, you're right.
Washington State went prohibition 4 years before
The rest of the country, yeah,
or 5
1916.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, good history.
And when that happened, the Rainier Brewery actually moved down to San Francisco because California, booze was still legal down there. So for almost 20 years, the Rainier Brewery their headquarters was down in San Francisco
Till the heat
Prohibition
died
was
down?
over. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then MO6 purchased Rainier and brought it back up here. So, little Rainier history there for you.
Nice.
That is in a future book that you're writing.
Yeah.
Do they have Rainier on tap here?
I'd imagine
They
so.
do not. They should,
Or
though.
a tall
They
boy at
should.
least.
They should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get the owner on the line.
Well, so we are...
Yeah, I think we should probably...
We are 5 minutes from the band taking the stage, and we're going to be drowned out there. So
Yeah, you think it's loud now.
yeah, I think it's loud now. Just wait. So
Yep, we're going to get
Rock and
booted
roll.
out. Almost
so
Wanna knock
thank
on
you
the
so
head?
much
Booted out of here.
for tuning in with us for season 1. Like I said, wait for season 2 because we got some gems lined up for you. We're really excited for it. But I'm going to wrap up this episode right now because the band is about to take stage. So
Thanks, everyone, for listening.
signing out. This is Dim Lights and Stiff Drinks at Dive Bars of Seattle. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back soon. Lou?
All right.
Okay.
Let's knock it on the head. Cheers, brothers. That was
Cheers.
fun.
Bye, you guys.
Later.